Hello and welcome once again to another training session of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, brought to you by Letter Tape. This is the third installment of training on this H2O bowl slide, this Aqua Blaster, and we're going to be focusing now on the Lazy River. Hopefully I'll be able to explain this in a way that'll make sense. The Lazy River can be kind of annoying. The first thing, primary thing, is Lazy River, just like any of these other water park rides, must be connected to a pool complex. Pool complex having a changing station and then a bunch of these flat areas. If you don't already know how to build a pool complex, I have some other tutorials that kind of touch on that and hopefully explain it well enough for you. But what you're looking at here is this ring on the outside is the, let's close this, is the Lazy River. And there you can see the text for Lazy River, how many people are in it. Over here, this is just a pool that I stuck in the middle of the Lazy River, and this is a pool complex. Now the points that folks get into and out of the Lazy River are actually station pieces, which are, if I turn this river off and go to construction, these pieces right here are the stations, which you can see with that piece right there. Also, these pieces right here are stations. So what this means is that the peeps can get into the water and out of the water at these points. They cannot do so at these points, only at these points. And what I should probably do is, let's just build one here. So we'll go to rides, pool slides and rides, and we'll go over here to Lazy River. And let's get a little bit of an overhead view here. And here's the basic station. This is the piece that you must have in order for them to get into and out of the water. After that, you've got options of if you want to make it wide or not, and if you want the side areas to be a little bit wider. So I've got that selected. It's hard to tell what's happening there, but if I turn that off, I don't have it at station. As I build, you see it's got this kind of this drop and this edge to it. These kind of pieces I can build next to a lot more cleanly with these type of blocks, whereas these here I can't build as cleanly next to. So as far as I can tell, it's kind of a design type of a thing. If I want to make it wide and then build forward, now it's just a much larger open area for them to be in. They'll probably enjoy it a lot more. Something to keep in mind is when you're using this part, especially if you're going to curve, if you look in the corner here as I mouse over it, you've got all that extra surface area that's going to be built. Whereas if I don't have that selected, it's going to be a tight bank. So see, there's the tight bank, and there's that area here. This area, as far as I can tell, the peeps do not use. It just makes the area look better. Just to see, let's go ahead and go to the pool complex. We'll go to these jacuzzis and things. See, I can't even build that stuff on there. I can't put anything in this area. So like I say, it's just depending on what you want it to look like. Here you can see an example of if I keep it without that, I've got this open green area that I could then raise the elevation if I wanted to. I can put plants in here. I like it just because I've got more options Over here you can see what those two parts look like. Here's with that wide, and this is with the cover, this is without the cover. I really believe it's just an aesthetic kind of a thing. Again, here is stations. So here's another thing. Here's stations, and you see it's got neither of those options. But then when I get to here, here's that wide area. So here's where I was saying that you could link a pool complex to a piece of track a lot cleaner than if it was this type of material. But as you notice, it builds these fences, and the peeps will not go across that. So that's another thing to keep in mind when building. And here's another example of that, is that while you have this big area here, the peeps are walking along just this narrow fenced off ledge. So I don't know. I just don't see a reason for this. If I find one, or one of you find one, let me know and I'll share it. But otherwise, what you're trying to do is you're trying to maintain a complete closed circuit. That's the main thing. It's just a circle, which is what you see here. Well, no, it doesn't have to be a circle. It just has to, or oval in these cases, it just has to match up from point to point. You can have multiple stations, like I've got stations here, and I've got stations here. Just be advised that this, if I close this, this has got a pool complex. If I put a pool complex on the other side here and put a ride over here, this ride is not going to be able to function unless I link this complex to this complex with ladders like, or with ramps like this, which is what I discussed in my previous tutorial where I had a linkage here. So there really isn't much more that I think I can explain about the lazy river. Resist trying to make it too big. If you are going to make it very long, I suggest having stations like these at different points along the ride. Otherwise the peeps are going to get angry and say that it's just far too long. In this case, I got a little weird with the design, and the stations are actually right here. So in order for the peeps to get in and out of this ride in this area, they have to actually go along this edge here and then get into the water underneath of this area. So there, which you just saw someone dive in. So not a very good design. This works out pretty well, but just have to work at it. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope this three-part helped answer the questions that folks still had on these water park rides, and you can get going to creating your ultimate water park. Thanks.